Good evening. You're watching the news on Croatian television. New information has surfaced in connection with the probe into fraudulent government travel orders and per diems. Prime Minister Andrej Plenković had asked two of his closest colleagues to review travel order records, not only during the tenure of Zoran Milanović as prime minister, but afterwards as well. They discovered a number of suspicious travel orders dating up to the present. On Monday, the Prime Minister held a joint news conference with Chief State Prosecutor Vinko Cvitan, announcing that the State Prosecutor's Office would be looking into the matter. Investigators have started conducting interviews in connection with the case. Monday's press conference by the Prime Minister with the Chief State Prosecutor by his side did not sit well with the Social Democrats. The chairman of Parliament's Justice Committee, Arsen Bauk of the SDP, has called a meeting to address whether the government had overstepped its authority with respect to the prosecutor's office. The PM announced a wider probe of travel order records. SDP MP Peja Grbin accused Prime Minister Plenković of violating the Constitution by meddling in the business of justice authorities.
We are planning to ask the Prime Minister, under the authority given to us by the Constitution and parliamentary procedure, to explain when did he order an investigation for the government travel authorizations, with which document and on which exact date. We want to know whether it is true that the Prime Minister decided this of his own accord, as he claims, or under pressure from the criminal complaints that have been filed and questions from the media.
Croatia's economy grew 3.4% in the fourth quarter of 2016, according to the State Statistics Bureau's forecast. This is the Bureau's second forecast for the final quarter of last year, and it remains unchanged. The GDP has grown for 9 consecutive quarters. The rate of growth has picked up the pace. It increased from 2.9% in the second quarter to 3.4% in the third quarter. This is the fastest growth seen since 2008. The upturn is being credited to robust increases in consumer spending, investment, and exports. SDP leader Davor Bernardić and the heads of 4 left-leaning and centrist political parties have signed a declaration committing themselves to building a better society. The Good Society Declaration charts their agenda ahead of the upcoming local elections. It focuses on labor rights and a better quality of life for both young and old.
From here, together we can begin to build a good society, a society that does not tolerate violence, remain silent in the face of intolerance, turn a blind eye to corruption, look away from conflicts of interest, or pretend that plagiarism doesn't exist, a society that sets high standards.
Science, technology, engineering, and math are the future and the foundation of every modern society, President Kolinda Grabar-Kitarović underscored today. The president was visiting the telecom equipment manufacturer Ericsson Nikola Tesla, an affiliate of the Swedish telecommunications firm. She announced a visit to Sweden later this month to discuss economic cooperation, investment, and technology.
I hope the company will continue to hire young, highly skilled workers. I'm also very proud of the fact that this is the fastest growing research and development center in Croatia and one of the biggest in Europe. We have significant potential for development and growth. Only last year, we hired 318 new tech workers, 430 the year before that, and most of them in research and development.
The leaders of France, Germany, Spain, and Italy backed a multi-speed Europe at a mini-summit in Versailles on Monday. As the EU prepares for Brexit, amid rising populism and doubts about the new U.S. administration's commitment to Europe, the bloc's 4 largest economies are supporting a policy promoting different speeds of integration. Although EU leaders have repeatedly underscored the need for unity, French President François Hollande said that this did not mean uniformity.
That's why I'm calling for new forms of cooperation, for new projects, what we call multi-speed cooperation. so that some countries can go faster and further in areas such as defense, the Eurozone, by deepening the economic and monetary union, fiscal and social harmonization, and culture.
This multi-speed cooperation must, of course, remain open to those who are lagging behind.
The European Court of Justice has ruled that member states have no obligation to grant humanitarian visas to refugees who plan to apply for asylum. The court said members were free to do so on the basis of national law. The court handed down its ruling in connection with a case brought by a Syrian family who applied for a visa to enter Belgium. The decision comes at a time when EU states are trying to curb the influx of refugees and migrants. Hungary has introduced new measures to tighten border controls despite criticism from human rights groups. Under new legislation, migrants will be detained in camps along the border while their applications for asylum are processed. Meanwhile, a draft report on the reform of the EU's so-called Dublin asylum system was presented today in Brussels.
The situation as of today, it's the frontline member states facing the Mediterranean Sea that we need to actually show solidarity to. Now, solidarity cannot be legislated. We need to put measures in place that would ease the burden on them.
Zadar lost to hosts Macedonian side Karpoš 85-79 last night in round 25 of the regional ABA League. Barac led Zadar with 22 points. Marinkovic and Brzoja scored 14 points each. Zadar have missed an opportunity to claw their way up from the bottom of the rankings, but they do have one more chance. To stay in the league, Zadar will have to beat Union Olimpia at home in the final round of the regular season, or hope Cibona defeats Slovenian side Krka in an away game. Tomorrow's forecast calls for partly to mostly sunny skies. There will be more clouds earlier in the day, especially in the south and the east of the country, where there is also a chance of scattered rain. There will be a moderate to high northeasterly wind on the coast, reaching gale force speeds in the Velebit area. Winds will fall gradually late in the day. Morning lows will range from 1 to 6 degrees in the interior and from 5 to 10 degrees on the coast. The day's highs will be between 9 and 15 degrees. There will be scattered rain mixed with sunny spells in the interior over the next few days. Showers will be more pronounced on Friday, and some areas might see some morning fog. There will be a strong north-northwesterly wind on Friday. Temperatures will remain in tomorrow's range or slightly warmer, but the mornings could be quite brisk. Temperatures on the coast will be slightly warmer until Friday. However, they will cool off on Saturday as a cold front moves in over the weekend and north-northeasterly winds pick up speed. It will be quite sunny with only some passing clouds and a very slight chance of rain. And that brings us to the end of our program. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow.